And now these stories are kind of making their way, and people are starting to ask questions, but it doesn't matter because there's an entire ecosystem built to protect this bizarre narrative, as if we're not examining sexual fetish. People tell you who they are early on. I mean, that's the circumstance of Sam Brinton, the nuclear energy waste person who showed up to work in heels. There was all of this evidence that this was a sexual deviant, right? He was in Pup Play, wearing makeup, heels to the White House. They made it seem like he was fabulous, long nails, sparkly uniforms. We saw him in thongs on tables. It wasn't a disqualifier for the Biden administration. They said, oh no, that's just love is love, I guess. Throw it under the love is love bracket. And then what happened? He started stealing women's luggage at airports and got arrested 3 times. And then they just quietly dismissed him. And I couldn't let this story go because it's like, he was, by the way, it's not Sam Brinton's fault. He told you, I am a sexual deviant. Right. How much more, I'd like to dress up like a puppy. And Pup Play features, by the way, men walking around with dildos. You know, he told you, yeah, nobody knows that when they're on all fours. There was a whole piece on it, what actually Pup Play is. He had all of this, and it was not like back in the day. That would have been a disqualifier for getting a job, right? If you went online, the old school, like, okay, let me go in for this job at the Daily Wire. Oh, look, it actually turns out Candace is into very kinky pup play and likes to dress up and wear. Like, you would think that they would say, maybe this person should not be working here. Nope, this made them want Sam Brinton more.
Yep. Yeah, but boy,
and then he stole some black women's. He stole some black women's luggage. Nobody cared. Was wearing her stuff. Nobody cared. She's like, this is stuff that I've made by hand. Nobody else owns it. Nobody cared. And they just quietly went, oh, I don't know what happened there.
They called her a racist?
Yeah. Yeah, probably. I mean, this is like, it's,
they're deranged.
They're looking for freaks. And then when they do freaky stuff, then they're like, oh, I don't know how that could have possibly happened. I don't even blame Sam Brinton. He told us. He told us who he was. He wasn't hiding it.
I like that those are the people that go around saying that we're offensive.
I know.
That's so what I can't get.
I know. Yeah.
You like Trump.
How offensive. How offensive. How could you possibly
America
like him?
First.
Right. It's their minds are so warped that if you spend time thinking about how it's possible that they can wake up and look at themselves in the face and feel like serious people. I mean, you just have to imagine that they're so far into it that they just don't have the humility to admit that they were wrong, because now it's just abundant. You know what I mean? It's so abundant. The mental illness is so abundant. Everything conservatives warned about that they said, oh, that's never going to happen. It's abundant. We're fighting it right now. We're dealing with people that are trying to say, well, don't call it pedophilia. Call it minor attractive people. Mm-hmm. It's here. It's in front of you, right? Yeah. So this is no longer about left or right. It's about what is...
Oklahoma just hired a convicted guy that was caught with child porn as a principal of a school. Did you read that?
Covered it on my show. Yeah. And
California,
he wasn't convicted. He basically got out on a technicality. He got arrested for child pornography. A technicality of why he didn't get convicted and they expunged it from his record was because the judge, they couldn't prove that it was a child. So let's say whatever the image was, the images that they found in his computer in his house.
They said there were thousands of them.
But until you can identify and say that's Jeremy Snow, born on December 1st, his defense can say you don't know if it's a child. This should just be a young looking man or a young looking woman. Mm-hmm. So the judge, on a technicality, which and another judge disagreed with him. I covered this on my show. And said, no, that's clearly a child. But they said, well, you have to actually prove that that's a child. So you get off on a technicality, expunged it from his record. But then he was a drag queen, who just loves to be in front of children, dressed up as and reading story time, which just is another thing. If you want to wear female panties,
too, don't they?
Why do you so badly want to be in front of kids? Okay, let's say you want to dress up as a woman and this is how you want to night. Okay, I don't really care.
Go to a rest home. They love that.
Yeah, if freaks want to do freaky things in their own freaky capacity in their own freaky homes, it doesn't really upset me. But what is this need to fight for a right to be able to read a book in front of a child? Mm-hmm. How does that not register you as a parent as something that's odd, right? And in order to show the world that you're woke and loving, you say, "Oh, look, I'm taking my child."
Did you notice they're all single moms and they're all obese?
Well,
I know everything about how obese women think because I spent my whole life like that.
Is this a thing?
I'm telling you. Yeah.
Tell me, how do obese women think?
Well, they're really angry and unloved inside, but they want approval of males they find attractive yet unavailable, which is gay. They want their approval, so they'll do anything to get it.
Interesting.
That's what I know.
Wow, the obese
But it's not
mentality.
a threatening not a threatening male that would say, no, I don't want to have sex with you because you're obese. But a gay guy that'll play flirt with them, they'll do anything for that.
Wait, that's super interesting because I'm being so serious because I'm very fascinated about, you know, the fat acceptance movement, the whole.
You mean big fat Lizzo that stole my act?
Lizzo is a person that I've covered extensively on my show, not because she's fat, but because she's one of the purveyors of the fat acceptance, which is like just be clinically obese, pursue being clinically obese. Totally weird, you know, that she's like shaking in a thong. I don't have an issue with people that are overweight and are trying to lose the weight. And
she stole my act. First of all, I was the first obese woman. I was the first obese woman.
We're going to need a fact checked on that.
No,
I was Roseanne Barr the first.
We don't fact check.
But listen, I broke all the. I wasn't the first, but I broke all the stereotypes. I was the one that got called a fat cow in Time magazine. They called me all the names that they don't dare call Lizzo. I had to take it. I'm the one that went to all those dressmakers and says, "You got to make a size 16." You're an anti-Semite if you don't.
Did you say that and get the dress made?
I did to Donna Karen. Because she herself wore a 16 and wouldn't make it. I go, what is this, some kind of anti-Semitic thing that you're doing here? We all wear a 16.
Yeah.
All the Jewish women. Anyway, but I did say that. But I said, you've got to make a size 16 here to all the dressmakers. And so they all went up, you know, in sizes of XL, X1, X. That's because I fought that. And I was called all those names. I was on the cover of Vanity Fair in a bustier when I was fat, and I met Botero.
That's true.
And all that stuff. I broke them down, not big fat ass Lizzo.
Well, I don't think she's broken them down necessarily, and I don't even think...
She don't even thank me. See, I was the woman that put my ass out there, and none of these bitches today, excuse me, they don't thank the women that broke the doors down, which I mean me.
Well, I think now it's become something else where they're, because it's, as you said, there are a lot of health implications with being large. And it went from, can we make a larger size for people to fit into to now glorifying obesity, which is something that's very dangerous, obviously.
I don't like it either because,
it's the number one killer in America.
I know, well, they want us, everything is a mind trick to get us to kill ourselves and each other, isn't it? Mm-hmm. It's mind control.
Yeah, and so it's very bizarre that there's been this switch where it's not about like, hey, I am this size and I'd like to be able to wear a dress too. It's now gone into we need to encourage people to be clinically obese and to problematize health. And now you have things, you have headlines, not headlines, magazine covers that say obese is healthy, literally.
Mm-hmm. No.
Obese is healthy. Mm-hmm. Of course, obese is not healthy. We know that.
Yeah.
Of course, I would assume that when you were a size 16, you weren't saying, obesity is healthy, so make me a dress. It's like, okay, I'd like to be able to wear a dress. And so Lizzo
I don't want to wear a suit that like a pony wears. You go to the store and it'd be like one striped sleeve and the other one has stars. We just wanted to have a nice dress.
Yeah, an option to wear, which is a much more noble pursuit. But what Lizzo has done, I think, has tripped into something else, which is very dangerous, and pretending that obesity is health and, trying to market the idea that women should aspire to obesity is entirely different.
It's another gay guy thing. You know what I saw? These gay guy